Hello snowboarders of the internet, I'm your host Avran LeFeber, and in this video we'll be reviewing the Salomon Highlander. I rode this binding at Arapahoe Basin on my Endeavor Archetype with my K2 Thraxis boots during a POW day. Like, the snow was just blower and light and absolutely perfect, so yeah, it was just a blower POW day in the spring. The binding adjustability is pretty straightforward. You got twist cams for lengthening or shortening your straps. You got pin placement on the toe straps so you can move it forward or backwards. You got a toe ramp. You got the ability to rotate your high backs, and you got forward lean. That's pretty much all you need in a binding. Here's what you need to know about the straps. The toe strap will fit just about any boot shape. The way it's designed, it'll contour around a snub nose or a pointy nose. The heel strap is that minimalist strap, so it removes excess material, and it's designed to just contour over the instep of the boot. This helps reduce pinch points as well as a strap stretching out from overuse. It's going to hold its shape a lot better and be easier to drive into. The ratchets are dialed, they climb well, they release well. Once again, my only gripe is you got one with a one finger quick release and the other with a push down release. Make it one and the same, it's the exact same movement. Other than that though, really can't say anything about the ratchets. They do their job, and they do their job well. The high backs on this binding are a little bit spongy, and that's only more so because of the shadow fit. So when you drive into that high back, into the heel cup, you get a little bit more play in there. It's just a little bit looser. It's not the stiffest one out there. You're gonna feel that play in there. So if you really like to drive into your high back, this might not be the binding for you, but if you're looking for something that's a little bit softer, easier to move around in, this is it. The overall flex of this binding is slightly below middle of the road. It's not like fully below middle of the road, but it is a softer binding. There is a little bit more lateral play in this just due to the shadow fit. So you can really just drive into the heel and move it around a little bit more. So if you're trying to like get surfy, slashy turns in the POW, it's good. If you're trying to be a little more precision base on a groomer, probably not gonna work for you. So here's the thing that I found with the ride of this binding. If you're being fast and aggressive, it's responsive. You've got micro movements that you can help manage just to drive it differently. But the second you slow down, the binding gets sloppy. You get a lot more play in it. You know, you have to over exaggerate all your movements to really finesse the board. It just makes you work more for it. That's basically it. But if you're being fast and aggressive and just pushing everything you got into it, you barely notice it. But the second you slow down, it's like, oh my God, this thing is spongy. So I will say this, the binding is a canted binding, and I didn't notice that at all, which it's got that going for it. But what I didn't like about this binding is the second you slow down, you lose so much power off your heels. You can't drive it the way you want to. So let's say you're slowing down and suddenly a fat skier kid just comes out of nowhere and explodes in front of you and his guts are everywhere and you got to turn really quick. You're losing that power. You're not going to have as aggressive of a turn around it. You're probably going to end up like running over his rib cage and getting a core shot and fucking your board up. That's just kind of what happens. That's what I didn't like with this binding. It's a very soft, playful binding. You know, you've got that heel movement that's back there because of the shadow fit, and the only time that you don't notice that is if you're really aggressively charging and just pushing it to the limit as much as you can. Who is this binding for? It's 100% for an all-mountain freestyle rider, someone that's very freestyle focused, someone that might even be skate inspired or comes from a surfing background. This has been my review of the Salomon Highlander. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you own a pair? Are you going to buy a pair? Leave me a comment down below. Let's have a conversation about this binding. If you're new here, remember to subscribe, click the bell, get those notifications. That way you're not missing any of the videos we got coming out for you. And if you'd really like to support us and you just want to see us grow out what we're doing over here, swing on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. I could tell you more here, but I got a video over there that explains it so much better. As always, I've been your host, Avran LeFeber, and I'll see you in another video.